everyone. Welcome to NeoCon Talks with Design Milk. I'm AJ Perron. I work with Sandow, and we manage all your favorite media brands like Interior Design Magazine, Metropolis Magazine, Design Milk, Azure, Architizer, and ThinkLab. So today, this is our 2 days of talks at NeoCon. We're almost done with day 1. And then we'll have another round at day 2. They're very fast talks, but we're excited for our speakers today. We have a full panel. Today, we have Tanner Woodford, right over here. Tanner is the founder of Iterative Work, a designer and artist. Tanner's work with the narrative-driven design studio Iterative Work explores the intersection of civic life, culture, and visual storytelling. For 14 years, he served as the founding executive director of the Design Museum of Chicago, where he built one of the city's most accessible and community-centered cultural institutions from the ground up. Woo! Woo, Tanner. Woo! So I'm going to hand it off to Tanner, and he's going to introduce everyone else. So let's give him a round of applause. Here we go.
Thanks, everybody. How's everybody feeling today? All right. I'm not going to make you do that again, but that wasn't very loud, I just want to say. My name's Tanner. Thanks for the intro, AJ. I'm here to introduce Designing a Better Chicago. DBC is what we like to call it internally, and it shines a light on the city's extraordinary design legacy, the local talent, assets, and communities that have long used design for civic good. This year, that work comes through 3 grants in 2 categories: the NeoCon Design Impact Grant and the Richard H. Driehaus Foundation Built Environment Grant. Since 2020, over the past 6 years, we've backed 16 organizations and given away more than $250,000 to fund design projects across Chicago. It's really exciting. It feels like a really good goal that we've hit there. So before I introduce this year's grantees, come celebrate with us tomorrow night. Join us for NeoCon, for an after party at NeoCon from 7 to 8:30, or 9:30, I'm so sorry. Let me try this again. Before we meet this year's grantees, come celebrate tomorrow night. Join us for a NeoCon after party from 7 to 9:30 at Seacrest Beach. Mix and mingle with fellow innovators and thought leaders and get an exclusive look at the art in Seacrest Beach's gallery. Tickets for that are on designchicago.org. All right, now we've got 3 projects, 3 grantees, completely different answers to what design can do for a city. So let me bring them in really quickly. Janelle Nelson in the middle here.
Hello.
She's from Inglewood Arts Collective, and they are turning 2 vacant lots at 63rd and May into a permanent artist-led sculpture park. Vernon Lockhart and Dr. Richard Blackman down at the end are from Project Osmosis. For 25 years, they've been teaching Chicago youth to use design to solve real problems in their own neighborhoods. And closest to me here is John Adel from Bubbly Dynamics at the plant. They are capturing a building's invisible wasted energy and making it something the public can see, understand, and reuse. Okay, that's all I have to read. We did that. Let's hear it for our panelists here. Janelle, I'm going to kick it off with you. The Arts Village has lived as a pop-up for years. What changes when it gets to stay?
What changes when the EAC Arts Village gets to stay? Well, Inglewood Arts Collective is a group of 10 artists that are from Greater Inglewood. We all grew up there, and we're the creative placemaking arm of Folded Map Project nonprofit. And so, woo woo, yes, give it up. Look, we'll get some energy today, okay? And I start there because I have to ground myself and any discussion with our mission, which is to use art and creativity and collaboration for the greater good, right? And in our case, folding the map of Chicago, the disparate corners of this city. How can we use creativity and a bunch of art nerds to bring us together? So the EAC Arts Village Sculpture Park that is launching August 2nd, this summer, very, very soon, like tomorrow, is the grounding realization of what was a pop-up one-day activation. We are moving from pop-up to semi-permanence, and I think that pop-ups can be a portal for permanent catalytic good, economic vitality. We plan to do art markets in 2027, and this summer we're launching with Art for Art's Sake, because every corner of the city deserves beautiful spaces, And I'm just very proud to be able to say that as a graphic designer, as a public art producer, I'm able to use design as a tool to inspire other art nerds from multiple disciplines to come together collaboratively to build something from the ground up. If you drive past 63rd and May right now, it literally is a vacant lot. Well, it's a vacant lot with the dirt turned over. We're doing landscaping right now. But we're building something that wasn't there before in partnership, not just with each other creatively, but with our elected official. The alderman supports this. Neighbors have informed this. And I'm just always inspired by the power of design and creativity to mobilize what I hope our neighbors will see when they walk by, which is a reflection of their own genius. So yeah.
That's what they'll see. What do you want them to feel?
I want them to feel reflected. I want them to feel reflected and amplified. I want folks to walk through there, cut through the park on your way home from work, on your way to grab some food, and just walk through and maybe not a literal reflection of your face, but a spiritual reflection of your possibility. Too often, too many negative stereotypes and stories have run amok, and that is not a total truth of any society or any group of folk. And every and any group of folk is a multitude of many beautiful things. And so I hope that the sculpture park is a sliver of a representation of what I know comes from Inglewood and neighborhoods like Greater Inglewood.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo woo.
Vernon and Dr. Blackman, 25 years. That's such an accomplishment. Congratulations, first off. What are you building now?
So right now we're involved in a very aggressive effort of getting a design center built on the south side of Chicago. So this is kind of our official announcement. Clap for that, yeah, yeah, baby. So, one of the things we've been doing is really collecting resources and working with our aldermen. We're working with the city, with amazing people like Dr. Blackman here, just generating, and our fellow osmosites who are in the audience. Osmosis people, let me hear y'all, please. Yeah. I'm sorry. But anyway, so we're collecting resources, and we're working with the city to create the performer, the assets, and all the things you need to get a building like that. Right now, it's mapped at about 18,000 square feet, 3 levels. There's some renovation and a lot of work involved, and we're also really pulling together resources to get the funding for the renovation, to get it to where it's supposed to be.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Blackman, what keeps alumni coming back?
Wow, we're just so proud of our young people that have come through the program. We see design as a problem-solving tool. And so a few years ago, we took 20 young men, and we spent the summer with them creating new images for peace, because the violence in the city was just unbelievable at that point. And they came up with some ideas and some images that were just phenomenal. We know that everybody has the human right to be creative. That is our mantra. And so we go into those places, in those spaces where young people might not ever see an architect or graphic designer. When most young people in urban areas think about art, they think about drawing. And what we try to show them and empower them with is to see that design is a problem-solving tool. We had the high honor of working with Cushman & Wakefield, PepsiCo, Humana, and IBM as we came out of the pandemic to help them redesign their workspaces as people came back to work after being at home during the pandemic. And so we had a chance to participate in their big global event that they have with our young people. So we see this as not just art in the creative sense, but we really see it as an opportunity for young people to solve some of the problems that they're facing in their communities and their cities. So we're proud to be a part of Design a Better Chicago because we've been doing that for 25 years.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And John, you're making something invisible visible. What do you want the people to see?
Well, one of the things that we've always strived to do at the plant is to make the where things come from and where things go to visible. Because we as Americans, we see things for 5 minutes. They come from someplace, they go here, then they're down a hole, and nobody has any idea, right? So what we're doing at the plant, first off, we're a living laboratory. We're about 100,000 square feet with 25 small food businesses, all functioning together in closed-loop systems in back of the yards. And so we are building a digital twin right now. We're working with DePaul University, and we are visualizing the thermal, electrical, and water energy flows throughout the facility. So we're doing this not only for our own use, for our digital twin to drive heat pumps and condensing loops that will allow us to take heat, waste heat from refrigeration and put it into baking and kombucha brewing and all sorts of other uses. But in order to do that, we have to control it somehow. So we have to sensor the hell out of everything. So since we're doing that, the best thing to do is to take all of that data, push it to the web, and make an interactive system that will allow people everywhere and anywhere to see, to spin the plant around, see the temperature zones in real time, use a time slider so you can go back and forth and see through the course of a day or a month or a year how temperatures shift and how that thermal energy is moving from a cooler into a kombucha brewery, for instance, how much electricity is being consumed. So if you ever saw the Body Worlds exhibit, for instance, and you see all of these different systems, we're going to have all of those systems laid bare for everybody to see and then drill down into the details. The goal of this is to educate everybody from children to engineers and architects to policymakers on how energy moves, how buildings work, so that we can all think together about how to make them more efficient and how to reduce our footprint on this earth.
I think you just answered my next question, but I'll let you go a little bit deeper if you didn't. Why is it important for the public to be let in on this?
The public needs to know because people just have no idea how buildings work, how things work at all. And it is really important, in my opinion, because if people knew what was going on, they would be able to make change in their own lives, even at a very small scale, makes a difference, but hopefully at a much larger scale as well. So everything we do is open source, and you'll be able to freely download the code that runs it, modify it, do anything that you want to with it, and then hopefully we'll be driving policy by doing this, by demonstrating to elected officials, this is what we need to be doing in buildings everywhere, manufacturing everywhere, in order to reduce our footprint.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I got one question. Yeah, let's pick up for John and the plant. I'll toss this out to the panel. Anybody can jump in. This room is full of really thoughtful, creative designers and makers. What's the most useful thing here someone could do to help their community?
I'm going to say make space for that community to come in and learn from each other and learn from whatever it is that all of us are doing. And I think that that's the number one thing, is to make a safe, friendly space for people to exchange ideas.
Yeah, to add to that, I would say to activate yourself. You know, we talk about activism, but you have to be activated to do that, right? And also to share the experience of community. You know, I don't like the word underserved because we're not underserved, we're lacking resources. So come outside, share your resources, talk to people, and roll your sleeves up and get some work done.
I mean, ditto, right? To reframe the question, what can you do as an artist, as a designer for your community? I always like to say that community is intersectional. I think we tend to use it as the nomenclature to represent like geography, but it's also, many different groups that you might ascribe to. And so realizing that we have the power to break down these silos and to just kind of echo what my esteemed panelist just said, it's just to do it. Don't wait for permission. You got an idea, you have the skill set. You guys have an upper hand. So whether you're a graphic designer, a landscape architect, a formal architect, create something and then try to collaborate with someone else. And that someone else doesn't have to be another artist. It could be a neighbor that likes to garden. design her a beautiful sign. Hit up one of your printer friends and see if they can hook you up or give you a discount on printing that sign, or fundraise to erect that beautiful, dope sign. And people, just use whatever your skill set is to create the things that you love for the community that you love, however you define community.
Love that. Thank you.
I'm just going to ask that everybody love our young people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a teenager now for all the tea in China. This is the most difficult time just in terms of what our young people face. And at the time when they need us most, it just appears that we've kind of turned our back on them a little bit, right? And so I would just encourage everybody to grab one or two young people that are in your immediate space, and then grab two that are not in your immediate space, and just love on them and show them the power of design, because they really don't get it. They think it's just one-dimensional, but it's not. And the other thing I think that we can do, just in terms of how we interact with our young people, give them space to express themselves. You may not always agree with how they do it, but give them space to do it, because that's an outlet for some of that energy and some of that stuff that we see going on that's not so positive, but they don't have any other outlets for that energy. So if we all give them space and give them the opportunity to burn up some of that energy being creative, I think that's the best thing that we can do for the city, and that's the best thing that we can do for this planet.
Thank you. Y'all are some of the busiest people in the city, working hard. It means so much to have you here together. What's a part of the work that people don't see? I think we see so much of your work. What don't we see?
How much time do we have? Well, I'll say for starters, people don't see kind of behind the scenes, behind the lines. They don't see all of the meetings that take place, all of the one-on-one conversations, all of the, me and this guy, we're brothers. We have to, I cry on his shoulder, he cries on mine, right? And I'm not ashamed to say that.
Yeah.
We're family, but in order to do that, you have to get to know the person, not just on a business level, but on a personal level.
I don't think many folks realize the unconventional, or you don't see the unconventional ways of communication to get business done. I work in a nonprofit, I'm an artist, I'm in community, serving community. I have a corporate-esque background, but the way we get things done is organic. So it looks like emails, it looks like late-night grant proposals. It also looks like no less than maybe like 16 different group chat text threads on my phone with different people, because I know everyone's busy. So I'll send you an email, and then I'll send you a text, and then that person's gonna text somebody else, and before you know it, in like 30 minutes, we've just workshopped a whole solution for a problem in a text, because we don't have time to schedule a Zoom for this one issue. And so many folks don't see how it is incessant work, even when 5 o'clock hits, even at dinner, after we have dinner and put our kids to bed, it looks like, a quick phone call or another text message, or, okay, I'm gonna run by your house in the morning and drop off that thing for Miss So-and-so. I mean, the work doesn't look like sitting at a desk. It looks like popping by somebody's crib and checking up on someone. That's hard to document, but it is ever ongoing. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, I echo that certainly. And for us, the work of community building is a lot of behind the scenes. It's a lot of that organizing that nobody does see. When you're trying to get people to talk to each other that don't have time to talk to each other, maybe don't even want to, and you have to find a way to force them to be in the same space, even if it can be unpleasant. And you've got to figure out how to get all these people from different walks of life to talk to each other. And we have to tell some of the good stories and some of the bad stories about the history of Chicago and all of the things that have happened here. And that part's hard. The other part that's hard are refrigeration failures.
That makes a lot of sense.
Anyway.
Thank you to Tanner and our amazing audience and panel.